Hello, Wolfpack. Bitcoin is now in the home stretch, right? I predicted yesterday that we'd probably have a bearish breakdown. We'd probably have a rejection. And it didn't play out like that. We actually broke through. What I did say in yesterday's video is that today's daily candle close, the one we just had, would predict the future price action for Bitcoin in the next week or so. And that's come through, right? So I think now that we've broken to the upside, we've broken above this uptrending blue line, and we've broken above 42.5k, that we will be heading upwards to the top of this ascending triangle formation that's currently at 44.5k, right? From that region, we will be testing the critical support zone on Bitcoin, all right? The critical support zone is coming from around, let me straighten it up just so I can get it clear. The critical support zone on Bitcoin for a bull market continuation or a bull market renewal or a short-term bounce or whatever it may be is between 44.5k and 46k. Close the weekly candle above 46k, and we're bullish again on Bitcoin, right? That's looking at the daily chart. Okay, that's flipping this entire downtrend region. If we close 46k, we flip the entire downtrend region, we jump back above. That looks bullish, and from that region, we'll form a cup, okay? And then from the weekly chart, if we flip over to the weekly, let's get that up right now. It's the monthly. Hold on one second. We can see on the weekly chart, at around that same region, we have the 50-week SMA, that red line that I've just brought up there, and that's sitting at around 46k right now. Okay, so flip 46, maybe a little bit above 46. It really depends on where the 50-week is when we get to that point, so it might be like 46.5, but at this point, it's very hard to tell where it's going to be. But around 46, close the weekly candle above that, especially this red box, that's going to be bullish for Bitcoin. We're going to be in a short-term bullish price action, and we can start trading massively again, right? Will that happen? Seems unlikely to me. Why is that? Well, if we flip over to something like, let's look at a total cryptocurrency market cap index kind of thing. Well, let's look at the 4-year cycle first and foremost. Everyone knows about this. I talk about it every video. Most people watch my videos basically every day. And so for those of you who don't know, 4-year cycle is not based off percentage. It's based off date ranges. We have a clear date range pattern that suggests that the bottom of Bitcoin in this bear market will be in November 2022 at around 24k. All right, and that's coming from a 200-week SMA as well. That's the basic prediction. But what we have seen historically is that every time we drop below the 50-week, which is this red line, we end up at the 200. We have seen in the past dropping below the 50-week, coming up, retesting the 50-week like we saw in 2018, rejecting and then coming down. And this is why I have said previously for basically 4 months now, we could very well come up to the 50-week, which is currently at 46k, test it, and then drop back down, right? So we can retest it from the bottom side. It can definitely happen, and that's why I'm not bullish until it does happen, until we actually flip it rather than just testing it. But in terms of things to talk about on this recent daily candle close, what we can talk about is the fact that we flipped the 100 now, the 100 SMA, which is a pretty big move for Bitcoin. We're also well in the green in the Gaussian channel, heading up towards the top side. You'll notice the top side resistance of the Gaussian channel is at around 44k, the top of the ascending triangle formation. Should be interesting to see what happens there. Bollinger Bands have stopped tightening, so the move is in progress, which means we'll probably see more continued moves. And right now, and this is why, I'm still bearish. I'm still technically bearish on Bitcoin here. I'm not really confident in this move. Even though we've broken resistance, we've still got 2 major zones to go. One of which being the top of the triangle, the other of which being the red box in 50-week. I still lean bearish, right? I'm still sticking by my bearish prediction. I still think Bitcoin before November or around November 24k, I think that's going to happen until that region is flipped. At the moment, it's not flipped. And at the moment, I can see a lot of resistance in that region still, okay? So we have the bull market support band coming down, we have the top of the triangle, and we have 50-week SMA. Lots of things there to flip. Now, we have made bullish progress, that's without a doubt. And what we can see here is as well, on the RSI triangle, we've broken it to the upside, which is great to see. But what we also do have, guys, by the way, is descending volume in this upwards move, which is an indicator that basically suggests that the current move is unsustainable. About 80% of the time it plays out, it means the current move is unsustainable and you end up flipping down to the downside again. Now, we've seen this many times on dead cat bounces. This is a textbook dead cat bounce according to the price action. Right now, yeah, we've broken through resistance, but that happens on dead cat bounces. Right, we broke through resistance on this one here, and this one here, and we wicked to resistance on this one here. It's happened before, it will happen again. There's no reason at this point to believe this is anything other than a dead cat bounce. Is it a great dead cat bounce? Is it putting a lot of progress? Is it creating doubt in the bears' minds? For sure. But at the moment, there's no confirmation of a bull market continuation. There's no confirmation of a bull market trend. And so we have to assume it's a dead cat bounce, and there is the evidence to support that. Now, what I do want to look at is the weekly chart. And we can delete everything right now, look at the weekly chart, and look at the RSI, see a massive hidden divergence on the RSI, which is good to see, bullish divergence. We also see on the monthly the same thing, massive hidden bullish divergence on the monthly chart as well. So there's no doubt that there are signs of bullishness, but I would argue that there's way more signs of bearishness for reasons that I've talked about in every video for the last bloody 4 months, and I'm not going to talk about it again. But I talked about it briefly in this video, but as of this point, that's how it still stands, right? If we look at something like the 4-hourly chart, and we just talked about the bearish divergence on the volume, now we're talking about 4-hourly chart, we can see bearish divergence coming through in the RSI as well. And the volume also looks terrible on the 4-hourly chart. What we can also see as well is this 3 ascending peak formation, which is typically listed as a head and shoulders formation. If you drew in the neckline there, if we break below that neckline, that's going to lead us into much lower prices here towards the 37k region. Now, I'm very surprised that we actually broke the ascending channel to the upside, or the ascending wedge to the upside. What we could draw here is a new ascending channel formation. Okay. And yeah, I would still say that this is an ascending channel formation for Bitcoin. How high can we go? We can definitely go to 44.5k. We can definitely even go to 46k for a wick, right? We can do it. I've said this over and over and over again. Nothing that I've said has been proven wrong. I've said this over and over again in the past 4 months. We can go to the 50-week SMA. We can do it. It's possible. But at that point, I would be expecting a rejection. Now, what I see on Bitcoin here is a pretty lucky breakthrough on the daily chart, but it's good to see. I can't deny that. A breakthrough on the RSI, it's bullish, but what I can see is bearish divergence all over the place. 4-hourly charts losing momentum, ascending channel formations, and we're still a decent amount away from the critical resistance zone. We haven't even touched the bull market support band yet. We haven't even touched the 50-week yet. So yeah, it's a breakthrough, but the weakness is pretty prevalent. This is something that we're going to need to be monitoring. And, you know, if we break above 46k, we close a weekly candle above it or around that region, great to see. You know, we'll talk about it when it happens. But at this point, we're going to be sticking by our prediction because nothing has happened that we wouldn't expect. Now, in terms of, and I talk about this quite a lot, altcoins right now, in terms of altcoins are pumping quite heavily. Altcoins have just had a very slight breakthrough above the triangle formation on this total cryptocurrency market cap chart. Now, what we could do if we wanted to be a bit shifty here, but it would kind of make sense, is move the lines up to the wicks. This is how you conventionally meant to draw a triangle formation. I didn't draw it like that because I was seeing rejections from a downside, but I'm going to move it up to this, and I'm going to say this breakthrough hasn't happened yet because I think a breakthrough on the altcoin market cap chart would need to happen in kind of simultaneously to the Bitcoin breakthrough, which hasn't happened yet either. So I'd say we haven't seen a breakthrough on the total cryptocurrency market cap chart as of yet. And as for Ethereum, I could probably do the same thing. And just move these up to the wicks and say that, well, currently on Ethereum, we also haven't seen a breakthrough as of yet, right? So we're very close to seeing a breakthrough on Ethereum and total cryptocurrency market cap. We're very close to seeing a breakthrough on Bitcoin, but we are seeing massive bearish signs start to form in the daily chart, in the 4-hourly chart, and the lower time frames. That would suggest that, hey, maybe this is the peak. And guess what, guys? We haven't even broken above the critical resistance yet at any point. I mean, the last 3 peaks, 4 peaks really, the last 4 consecutive dead cat bounces, every single one of those got stopped out at 44.5k. All right, we're currently at 43k. Flipping bullish right now would be kind of illogical. Altcoins are pumping, right, which is actually an indication that the market is not looking good for Bitcoin. When altcoins show a massive amount of strength for Bitcoin dominance starts to drop, it means the attention's been drawn away from Bitcoin. It means less people are willing to buy into Bitcoin, which means Bitcoin rally is going to be smaller, and that's what we've seen with the volume right now. So yeah, as of this point, it's something we're monitoring. I will do daily updates on this breakout. It's something we're monitoring. I don't have any immediate short-term predictions at this point, because to be honest, I'm not sure what's going to happen in the short term exactly. But what I can say is that it looks bearish in the sense that we're running out of momentum. At some point, I would expect it to reverse at some point before 46k. Right, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Still sticking bearish. Nothing has been proven otherwise at this point, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.